unfortunately yet to get a win on the board here. But Vermilion, they're looking to be one of our top 2 teams in the finals, potentially, if they can keep this up.
This is going to be amazing if we get towards the end of the season and Vermilion and rank 55 Dragons are top of the league table. It's way too early to say that right now, but I just thought about that in my head, and it's a very interesting thing to think about. What happens if we don't see Rom and we don't see Helsef at the finals of this first season? That's amazing. That brings out so much, so many different people into our sites.
Into the limelight.
And it's kind of odd. Yeah, limelight's the word. That's the one.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird to see different players coming up to the top. But I mean, that's fantastic that more people are going to be brought into the scene, and we'll see who our 4 teams are going to be as we head towards playoffs. They're going to be.
Well, some teams might need to do that. Maybe Purple Noise.
Yeah. when we start to get towards the end of the season, playoffs are certainly going to be the word for some of the teams. But let's take a look at the standings after that matchup. It was a 2-0 victory in favor of Vermilion. And I believe we should be able to get an interview organized with RG from Team Vermilion. We'll see how he's feeling. But our next matchup after the interview, it's going to be Orange Logo up against More Guns Than Roses. Now, More Guns, they were the team that beat Purple Noise last week in some of the most action-packed games that we've seen so far.
Really,
But Orange Logo are a team that we weren't really expecting to be 1-on-1 in this season so far at this point.
No. And, there were issues around that. Obviously, we've seen Tage is now... isn't currently playing at the moment. Again, there's reasons for that. But we saw Double Mesmer coming out last week, and it wasn't working for them at the time. And now they've actually taken up Farrell from Chaotic Contingency, and no doubt he's going to be playing Revenant. That's what he's been playing. So now they're back. Denshi and Tage were playing double Rev, double Condi Rev. Really, that week we saw Orange Logo playing in the first week was where we saw that dominance of those 2 Revenants coming in with the condition builds. Everyone else was still really playing power. There's a couple of Condi builds here and there, but you saw the strength and the mobility and the power, Condi power that came into the map, and how important that was for them, and in terms of them rolling through the map. And that's what Guns and More Guns are going to have to survive against, and then get the kills themselves.
I think that's the thing as well, is the people that are going to be able to innovate the sort of counter to double Condi Rev. They're going to be the ones that are ahead of the meta, because I mean, it's like Levin was saying earlier. Double Condi Rev has kind of removed Necro to some extent from the meta. Something I'm sure will come along that kind of does the same to Double Condi Rev. The sort of the scissors to Condi Rev's paper, if you will.
I mean, also, Helsef's got some part to play in this with the Mesmer bunker build as well. Whether or not, I mean, he's the one who's been playing it the most, and we recognized it. The first person to really play it on stream and pretty much brought it in. So, he's come up with this kind of... It's so odd to say that Helsef is responsible for Bunker Mesmer. I'm not sure I can get over that. But, I mean, it's just so important. You can't not utilize some of the different builds. And, that double Condi Rev is something like it feels like you need to be having in your team con to get anywhere at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a word with one of our winners here. We have RG from Vermilion, who is on the internet. I was going to say on the phone. That's not quite accurate. We're going to have a word with RG. So, RG, how are you feeling off the back of that victory? You must be very happy with your 3-0 streak so far.
Yeah. I can't say I'm not.
You're just a little bit happy then.
Yeah, I guess. Nah, I'm actually really stoked. My team's actually improving really well. We actually improved really hardcore over time. I remember like when we had our first ESL match, we set Zoic there, and we still did good. But then we had some roster changes, and we improved more. We are screwing more as well. We take this game more seriously, and I can say we are actually really confident.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we were talking about before you guys played, actually, and you'll probably see it in a bit when you go and back and watch the VOD after Pro League, of course, because you're going to watch the rest of it, was the fact that you guys are now very, very consistent, and how that is, Orange Logo, TCG, the guys, when they went to World Tournament Series and whatnot, consistency was one of the most important things. But now you guys are probably the most consistent composition in Guild Wars 2 PvP. How odd is that for you to hear? Based on the fact that you guys, you're not... I mean, how long have you been together as a team, would you say, roughly?
I think we, as a team, we learn more from losses than from wins.
Yeah.
And because of this...
You're not losing at the moment, though.
Exactly, but because we lost so much over the past, we improved so well. Because every time we lose, we never do those same mistakes again.
Yeah.
And I think this is what differentiates us from other teams.
Yeah. I think that's so crucial as well, to have that mindset, to be able to improve, not just sort of get salty if you lose the game, but to actually learn from those losses and move on. So I'm curious now, with your 3-0 streak so far, you're tied for first place in the Pro League. Who is it that you guys are most sort of tentative about going up against? Who's the opponent that you're dreading the matchup of?
Okay, at first we were fearing RNG the most because we had always close scores. We fought them a lot. We always had close scores. Sometimes they beat us really hard. Sometimes we had really close scores. That's why we fought them. We feared them more than everyone else. But because we actually won this game, we are really this baggage off our shoulders is gone. Basically, I can say so.
No, so basically, you're saying you have no fear.
No fear whatsoever.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
You can say that. That's fine.
No. TCG improved so well over time. Like first they played as Rusty, and where the players, of course, came back from other games to Guild Wars 2 again, like Drazik, Kaz, and Frey. And of course they were rusty, but now they improved really well and got their old skill back. And actually, I think they even improved because we scrimmed them over time so much that we don't know how this will go. We always the scrims always go like this and that, but I think the scrims, you can't take them as a guideline because people, of course, try new splits, what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, of course.
And I think 55 is really good too. They have really skilled players, really individual skilled players. They rotate really well. So I take both games really serious, like the games we will have on week 5 and week 7.
So there's a lot of respect
I can't tell. Yeah, we really respect them a lot. We think they're all very good players. Yeah, so we will try to do our best, of course. Try to go in those finals.
Well, the game against Vermilion, or the game against rank 55, you are Vermilion, is going to be our second to final game of the regular season. That's going to be on the 7th week. So if you guys and rank 55 both manage to remain undefeated until that point, that will be such an important game. But we'll have to see how the season pans out. We are going to wrap this interview up, though. So thank you so much for your time, RG. Is there any last words you'd like to say to anyone before we go?
Choose to win. No, I'm joking.
RG is always cheeky.
All right, well,
good man.
No, I would just say expect more from us. Like, we try to improve as a team. We try to get our name out there. And yeah.
Cool.
That's all.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much for your time, RG, and we'll see you next week on the Pro League once more. Well, yeah, so that was RG anyway, and he's obviously feeling very happy after the back on the back of that win. Very happy with their 3-0 score, and very happy to be tied in first place with the rank 55 Dragons. We are going to go on a break before our next series, which is going to be Orange Logo up against more Guns N' Roses. Now, both of these teams are 1-1 in the standings, so this is a very crucial matchup for both of them. We'll see who's going to be able to take that series after this short break. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. We're here for our third series of the day. So far we've had 2-0 victories and both teams have managed to secure themselves 3-0 sort of standings within the Pro League so far. And we're here to get into our third game. Let's introduce ourselves. This has been an awful intro. I do apologize, Jebro, making us both look bad. My name is Munchables, and with me once again is Jebro. And how are you doing, mate?
I'm I'm doing great, Joe. How are you?
Dear me.
We're doing Aussie accents today as well.
Righto.
Righto, mate. Sorry.
Anyway, let's take a look at our standings. Let's take a look at our standings so far this week in the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. Orange Logo versus More Guns N' Roses up next here. And then followed by TCG up against Chaotic Contingency. 2-0 victories on the board. And let's see how Orange Logo versus More Guns N' Roses is going to go. Our first map, of course, is going to be the Battle of Kylo. Once again, obviously, the map rotation the same for each of the best of threes each week, and then the maps rotate each and every week. So we get to see the different maps. And I mean, this week has been the first week that I've been able to cast Battle of Kylo ever. So
4 times as well.
I know, I'm spoiled.
You are pretty much, actually. We barely see Kylo because sometimes we see a lot of 2-0s, which, you know, like you've said a couple of weeks ago, it doesn't really describe some of the games in the series. Sometimes it looks like it's been fairly dominant, but teams have been fairly dominant tonight, to be honest. And that is very accurate towards the series we've had. But we have change. Change is here. And we can talk about that when we go into game after the intro.
Yeah, change is good usually, sometimes. Maybe not all the time though, but
you completely flip then.
I'm afraid. I fear change.
I'm afraid of change. Joe looks into the distance.
Like flashbacks or something.
No,
anyway.
Stop the change. Sorry.
Anyway, I was going to do a shout out to something, but oh yeah, betting bot. Everyone, go in Twitch chat right now before we get into this series and put your points down on who you think is going to be able to take this best of 3. I mean, I personally, I find this matchup specifically so hard to call. Both of these guys are 1-1 in the standings. Orange Logo look to be a really dominant team, but I mean, lost a series that on paper I thought they were going to take last week. So it really could go either way. Yeah,
I mean, there is some the comp changes in here which are quite significant as well and really could decide it. I mean, we've got another player coming in for more guns as well, which is going to be something else very interesting playing on Ellie. We'll talk about that again when we get into the map. But again, Kylo could be a really interesting map for more guns, actually, because I feel like they might be okay on this. I've seen some scrims where maybe, you know, they've found it quite difficult, but I feel like they've been practicing a lot. And they've got 2 revs in there tonight. Both teams have got 2 revs. So 2 rev comp versus each other could be interesting.
Absolutely. We'll see who's going to be able to take that one. But let's get onto the map and start going through the builds properly. It is going to be the Battle of Kylo. Let's take a look at that intro once more.
In the Battle of Kylo, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Capturing these objectives can be quite difficult at times, as the enemy team may choose to rain fiery balls of death upon you from their trebuchet. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Battle of Kylo for the first game in our best of 3 between Orange Logo and More Guns Than Roses. We'll see who's going to be able to take this series. Let's have a look at the compositions that we're going to be seeing here. Orange Logo on the red side up against More Guns on the blue.
Syndrome is trying to use all of his abilities. He's trying to use all things. But Syndrome has been playing Engineer a lot more recently, but today he is playing Revenant. Let's go and see what he's playing. You see Demon Stance there, so it's fairly obvious that he's going to be playing Condition Revenant today as well. We're seeing it thick and fast all over the shop at the moment, but if we go and have a look, he's playing Sword Shield, of course, with the Mace and the Offhand Axe. This is what we've been seeing all day, and we don't need to talk about it again because we know what this build is about. So again, we're seeing the very same build played by Faroz. Of course, coming from Chaotic Contingency is the new member of Orange Logo. So we welcome him to the team, of course, but
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome indeed. I'm sure they've welcomed him in their own way as well. We've seen Frostbolt playing again. We're seeing the Sentinel Amulet being played in the Pro League today. So this is a new amulet on stream.
I think this is like the first time we've actually seen it in the Pro League as well. We saw it earlier on this week, but before this week, we haven't really seen this build being played properly.
We haven't indeed. And we're seeing people switch in and out of Time Warp as well as going for Gravity Well as well. So it's very interesting. And another interesting change up as well is seeing that Denshi has gone over towards Ellie. Maybe they're feeling like they need some extra Condi removal and support in their team to make sure that, you know, these Revenants are going to be able to do what they can do. We didn't see the, you know, the double Rev being played much from them last week. But then we're going to go over towards Rom and have a look, just quickly having a look at Denshi, just to note that he's playing stuff with Selly as well, and that he is going for the powerful aura as well there. And then we're going to finally go over to Rom. Feels like he's going to be the man who's in a lot of 1v1s as well, but he is going for Nature Magic with Beast Mastery and also Druid. And he was playing a bit of Soldiers last week. He's still playing Soldiers today with the Rune of Durability as well. And he's going for the offhand dagger with the sword, which offers him a little bit of mobility, as well as going for the staff, of course, which would be really good for his celestial avatar and gaining that as quickly as possible.
Well, that's going to be orange logo for you guys, but let's take a look at their opponents for this week. It is more Guns Than Roses, and we'll see if they've got enough guns to bring to this firefight as we take a look at their builds.
And Demon as well. He's a new member of More Guns Than Roses, of course. Demon used to play for Solarius Esports, so he is being welcomed into the Pro League today as well, so make sure you welcome him in the chat. But he's going to be playing Staff Elementalist as well. Staff feels like it is the best, probably, you know, weapon combination for this map, as all the Ellies are starting to use it for various reasons, of course. You know, we're going to see, you know, they can fight on point, they can fight off point, they can actually, you know, on the mid node as well, they've got stack field, they've got the earth wall as well that they can bring up to make sure they can potentially get caps in different places. And he's gone for Diamond Skin, of course, because we've got a lot of Condi coming up, but he's going for the condition removal here as well. And we saw Denshi, and we've seen other Elementals picking up powerful aura in different places. Guns and Tools is going to be rolling with the Alchemy, of course, with the Inventions and Scrapper there as well, going for the typical build that we're seeing. Sometimes we see some variation in these sigils. We've talked about this build quite a few times today. And Xeonix going to be playing the bunker at Mesmer. It's like, then I just got very confused by his helm, because I was like, wow, okay, he's really trying to be quite immersive. And then I saw the dragon random head there as well. From the Carnival, of course. Interesting skin from the gem store. There we go over to Chronox as well. He's going to be playing Condition Revenant, go for durability there, as well as the regular amount of traits. Of course, everyone's switching really over towards that stability there. And then we see Zuik playing on the power. I think he was playing, I can't remember if he was playing Power or not last week, but he's going for the Wanderer's Amulet. Normally we see something different playing from Zuik in different occasions.
It was Zuik that kept on running the Berserker.
Yeah, he keeps running it from time to time, for sure, yeah. Interesting.
Go back to it, mate.
Just for me.
Good. Just for me.
At the moment, I feel like he's in... It's his condition now. We've got the Legendary Demon now. It's come up. There you go. Just had a little bit of an error there with that, but he is playing a Condi as well as going for the Wanderer's Amulet, of course, as well. So, interesting comps for both teams.
I think one thing that's quite interesting at the moment in the meta is we're pretty much every game now seeing double Condi Rev with an Elementalist for kind of the Condi removal, and then it seems to just be a rotation between Mesmers, Druids, and Engineers.
Yeah, I mean, Mesmers I think are solidly in there as well with that addition. It feels like... And this is what I was about to talk about as well. The main difference, we can tell these guys we're ready, actually.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because they can definitely go. And the real difference here is Rom is playing on, of course, the Druid. And then we've got Guns and Tools playing on Engineer, of course. So, you know, there's quite a difference in what these builds actually do. And we might actually see these guys come up against each other in 1v1s. You know, Rom can sustain forever, since he's in Celestial Avatar. But... so can Guns and Tools. He can disengage from fights quite easily. He's got a lot of survivability coming out from a Elixir gun as well as the hammer, of course. He can block. He can use Thunderclap to give himself some distance as well if he gets that off. And also Slick Shoes in defensive and defensive situations. So at the moment, guys, the reason we're talking is because we're waiting for the guys to ready up, just so you know.
Well, to be fair, even if they're ready up, we'll still be talking.
We will definitely be talking. This is definitely what casters do.
It's something that both of us are actually quite good at, in fact.
Well, I'd hope so.
Do an awful lot of talking. A lot of people I know would probably say too much talking. But I guess
we're just jolly.
Swings and roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts. Everybody has readied up. And we're going to be kicking this one off on the Battle of Kylo. Orange logo up against more guns than roses. We'll see who's going to be able to take this first map in this series. Both teams currently 1-1 in our standings. We'll see who's going to be able to push themselves to the top half of the scoreboard and who is going to be going down into that bottom 4. As we see both teams charging across the map.
This is, I'm sure, a position that Orange Logo didn't expect to see themselves in early on in the Pro League series, of course. And now they're looking to make sure they can pick up this win, like you say. And now Rom doing a good job of just trying to line of sight the Revenant as it goes into this 1v1 versus himself as well. We're going to see that maybe last a little bit of time here. Let's go over to this 2v2, as it's quite exciting over here, actually, over on the windmill.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 versus 3 going on, in fact, as the reinforcements arrive here. It's going to be Zurich and Cranox sort of being focused out here, although Zurich in the 1v1 on the other side of the map. Cranox taking a bit of damage, but so far doing a decent job to just try and kite away from this one. It's going to have the energy to just keep on rolling around, and is going to be topped back up by his teammates. But if you take a look at the Orange logo health bars, they're starting to feel the pressure here. Skin especially, or Cinder here. I don't know how to say that name. It's very long.
Just go for Sin. Sin's fine. He's absolutely fine with that. Cranox, no. Look at that. They've reversed the pressure onto Cranox, and Cranox is actually very low. No more Condis come out to him, and actually offered up with a few auras from the Elementalist there. So Demon is doing a fantastic job at the moment. And it feels like actually the Condi reps could probably be going for the Elementalist, because, you know, they're going to get Cranox down in the end, but they could really pressure Demon here in this team fight. I feel like they could actually win it if they just did that. And now the pressure goes back onto the Syndrome here, and this fight is lasting forever. Let's just check out what else is going on in the rest of the map. So we've got the 2 Bunker Mesmers out of that team fight situation. That's where they would be the most useful. And we are going to see Rom versus KR over on the other side of the map isn't going to end anytime soon. If the damage of the pet can come out onto Zurich there, he's going to feel that pain quite quickly, and that's where that fight is probably going to change as well. As Rom slowly builds up his might stacks here as well, he will be able to grab some extra damage potentially in the future. He does get 6 stacks there, so you might see that damage start to really stack up against Zurich. But we're not seeing any kills really come out across the map. Everything is sustained. We are 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this game at the moment, and nothing is changing anytime soon.
No, pretty much a stalemate.
As I say, that Cranox almost goes down to the down state. Oh my god, sorry for that.
So close to going down, but the Crystal Hibernation is going to keep him alive, gets that regeneration back up to half HP, and is going to be able to stay in the fight for us. I was about to say under pressure, but pretty much just tops himself up, and it's going to be Sin again, the focus target here for more Guns N' Roses. And I mean, coming into this one, I said this was going to be a close series. I didn't realize no one was even going to be able to get a cap for the first 3 minutes of the game. Not even a single down has happened just yet.
And indeed, you know, and we've got the perfect matchup for both teams, and it's going to be about mistakes at the moment, because for us going to downstate here, they need to, are they going to pressure? We need to see the infused light, but Feroz drop there as well. We're going to see the res very close to getting up here, but the pressure is really good from the team, and actually that's going to be more guns picking up the first kill, and that's going to be important. What are they going to do? Are they going to choose to disengage here? Denshi is just left in that 1v2 now, and it feels like Cranox could just go back, maybe get the kill on Denshi, pile up the pressure, but Sin, a great port into mid, and we're going to see a very far a time walk coming out as well from the Mesmer on this point, and that's going to be a good job. If they can get a nice kill here, they could really even things up, but more guns picking up the first kill, and 5 points coming up with 4 minutes in the game almost taken here.
Yeah, so more Guns N' Roses take a convincing lead in this one with those 5 points. Zurich going to be trying to capture the mansion, and he might just be able to do it. I don't think they're going to be able to get back onto the spot in time. Rom has stayed off it just a little bit too long, and the mansion is going to be captured by more guns. And now this is where it starts to actually be significant. Rom is going to be dropped into that down state as well. The res is going to try and come out from Sin, and he is going to be able to get his teammate back onto his feet. And now the mansion contested. All of the people starting to come into this fight here, turning into a 3 versus 3. Over at the windmill, We've still seen that 1v1. It's still not been capped. I feel like that potentially was a cap that Morguns could have gone for earlier.
It could have. At least they got the other side of the map. This is not too bad because it's their home point. We've got 2 Revenants as well, and they can get back here quite easily. But now, Orange Logo are outnumbering over on the windmill. Red team do pick up midpoint as well here, and they're going to keep. Are they going to keep Frostball there? I actually feel like the Ellie being there might have been quite useful, but it's important for the Condi removal as Guns and Tools, Guns and Roses does go very low himself and needs the support there of his Mesmer and of course of the Elementalist. We are going to see currently Zinix is actually doing a great job himself, trying to just support his team, staying on node, being consistent there, while the rest of the members just skirmish off point, and a lot of the off point fighting is where it's at for these teams at the moment, as I use Xeonix as a kind of a camera here, as we see the action kind of unfolding as well. As we see that Time Warp coming out as well, Xeonix uses that. Can they take advantage? They do! Syndrome gets into the down state as well. We need to see that he is executed indeed, and that's again another considerable win for more guns on this map.
Yeah, Morgun's doing a phenomenal job here, trying to turn onto Feroz as well. He's doing his very best to just kite this one out. Cranox needs to get back to the rest of his teammate because he's feeling the pain. Sin has now respawned, so we'll be able to join the fight again shortly. But, I mean, this stalemate over at Windmill keeps on happening, and neither team really seems to be able to get too much of anything coming out of it. Feroz, though, might just be going down. The Condis is stacking up. His health bar is incredibly low. He's just trying to dodge around and survive as long as possible, but he is going to be dropped down, and that might just be him going down. The res is coming out, though, and he will be pulled back onto his feet. Orange Logo staying in this fight, but Frostball now could be the next focused target. He's down to just 1/5 of his HP, just doing his very best to kite around here. The Guns...
Time Warp.
And
wow.
Time Bomb coming out. More Guns and Tools, or more Guns and Roses even, just doing their very best to try and finish these members off. But Cranox finally goes down, and this could be the swing that Orange Logo have been looking for. The res comes out. No, the execute at the very last second comes out. Cranox is going to be removed from the fight. That's one of the Condi revs, which seems to be such a crucial part of this sort of team composition. Zuik as well is getting incredibly low. This could be bad news for more Guns.
Yeah, it could be indeed. And it really started off with Frostball bringing out a lot of quickness through that Time Warp, as well as the slow as well, which slowed down a lot of the support for more guns. And really, Frostball did a great job making sure he got the double on that split. And the Zuik goes down the other side of the map, and this could be a point in time where Orange Logo could come back. And I say that because, you know, even at the moment with 20 points, it might be quite a big lead because of how slow this game is at the moment. But still, it's quite action-packed, as we see Cranox and also Zuik really suffering with a lack of support, and Demon coming into the point is going to be really, really beneficial. And it feels like Denshi being in different places at the moment, trying to commit more to these team fights is really a lot better at the moment for their team survivability, trying to get rid of some of those conditions. Part of me thinks, I don't know why I'm thinking about Bunker Guardian at the moment, that's in my head for some reason, but anyway, let's talk about the game again.
Yeah, indeed. We do see a 2v1. Rom not going to be winning out that one. Decides to just kind of disengage. Sin might just be going down. The execute is going to be interrupted, though. The res is coming out. Oh, there's the execute actually coming out. In the end, it is going to be Zuik that's able to finish that guy off. And now Rom actually has found himself in a 2v1, trying to get that res, and the Condi's just too much stood in the fire, and he is going to be going down. So a 2-man advantage pulled out for more Guns and Roses, and we'll see if they can do anything with this one. They got the decap, so they do just have this single 1-cap advantage. We'll see if they can turn that into a second one anywhere.
Yeah, that it's so strong, but now more Guns need to be careful. The red team members don't look. Rom doesn't come into this point as well. So what are they going to do? How are they going to decide to roll around this map? Is Rom going to go into that close point? Is he going to make sure they can equalize things up and get the kill there? Because at the moment, they really need to. Not equalize things up, sorry, outnumber over on this side of the map, because that might be potential for them to come back and steamroll this map. But it looks like he's going to go for a potential decap over on the quarry. And this could be a different, not the quarry, sorry, over on the mansion. This could be an interesting situation. But look, we've actually had more Guns scouting that out. So good movement from Zuik there to get onto this point. And again, you know, that's the situation. That's correct. That's a great matchup for him because he's been doing okay in that situation. He can hold that for a bit.
He certainly can.
Farrell's down,
though, might not be able to hold on right now because he's in the down state. The execute channeling, and it is going to go through. Sin trying to get the res, but just not able to protect his teammate. And again, more Guns managing to come out ahead in these trades.
This is just amazing at the moment. I mean, I can't believe this. We're going to see Orange Logo lose potentially another game in so many weeks. Syndrome is so low to going down. He's gone. He has been punished here. And Denshi, again, is going to be stuck in a 1v2 situation unless he is able to get the res. And he stays there for too long and he's punished. Forgetting about those conditions. So many piled up against him from Kranox there. And then Xeonix in support. And I'm loving the movement of these Revenants at the moment. Zuik is really committing to these 1v1s on different occasions. And now he dropped quite low. But look, he gets the support he needs from Demon. And Demon has always been such a good supportive character. He's a good addition for more guns to come in as well. Of course, dropping that Necro and then bringing in the Elementalist. It feels like it's been a good class change for them. But yeah. They're doing a great job. They've got the 2 side caps, and at the moment, this game belongs to more Guns N' Roses.
Absolutely does. Right now, this is their game to lose. They should be able to, if they can keep up the play that they've been showing in this first half of the match, or the first 3 quarters of the match, then they will be able to take this series. However, Orange Logo not quite out just yet, but they certainly need to pull something out of the bag to pull themselves back into this series. Frostball doing his very best to just keep this clock tower decapped here, trying to make sure we do see a Revenant heading on up towards that windmill. The decap going to be coming out from Sin, so at least going to be able to slow down the points coming in for more guns. If they can get the decap on the mansion as well, they'll be in a fantastic position to maybe get some control somewhere on the map, but they're on almost a third of Morgan's points right now. Orange Logo really struggling here. Kranox getting a little bit low, but might just be able to escape from this one with his line.
Yeah, I think he should be okay for a little bit of time now. Xenix brings his cooldowns back up. It means, and we see a Time Walk coming out as well on this point, which means he can actually be quite offensive here and use a lot of his abilities. We see quickness coming out for himself and slow coming onto the enemies. They have to avoid that Time Warp as well. But Kranox is being pressured, needs to be careful and stick near to Xeonix if he can. Even some body blocking might be good as well. So we've seen another Time Warp coming out. Kranox is going to die quite soon unless... Crystal Hibernation. That's great rotation of his skills. And look, Guns and Tools is coming in as well. Can he drop that gyro to make sure he gets him up the stealth? But they don't even need to. The support. It feels like more guns are just... They're really rolling with their builds, their composition, and the way they're rotating around the map in terms of their matchups. They're just in the nick of time every time. And I'm talking about when Zuik is supported as well, because now no one's in a position to do that, but they've held the map for as long as they can. This is their game. They've won Mansion. What is happening to the top team of Orange Logo in the Guild Wars 2 Pro League? This could be the second series they win. They lose. This is the first game. After this,
yeah,
what can they do in the second game?
More guns have clearly just brought more firepower to this map. They're doing so well in every single fight. It's never felt like Orange Logo have been the ones in the driving seat. They just seem to just be reacting to whatever it is more guns pull out. I mean, right now, they're certainly pulling out the heavy weapons. The 1v1's still going on in the mid, but not a whole lot going to be coming out of that one. And honestly, there's nothing that Morgans even need to do. And for that's felt like that for like the last 5 minutes. They literally just need to hold whatever they've got and just keep doing the exact same. And it's really a story of what Orange Logo can do to try and pull themselves back into this one. Rom getting incredibly low, but will be able to top himself up a little bit better. But this 3 versus 3 over at the windmill, just not really going anywhere right now. Not
at all at the moment, unfortunately. I mean, it looks like Kranox might be the one who gets focused down here potentially in the end. I'm still wondering about this interesting, and actually, Farrell just whispered me before the game and said, we just had a random comp change. And you know why, Denshi was playing Condi Rev last week, but they've gone for Elementalist, and it doesn't feel like anyone else in this comp is going to be able to play Elementalist as well as him. Denshi is probably one of their best multi-classes, along with maybe Syndrome here. And not sure about Farrell's. He's so good on Revenant, but at the moment it doesn't feel like he's getting the support he needs. The Revenants are getting the support they need. Either that or the practice together that they need to take these guys down. Whereas Zuik and Kranox are so solid on Rev at the moment. I don't know. I'm liking this team comp from the guys of More Guns. This is a confident performance. And it feels like the early change as well is very good for them.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things as well that you have to bear in mind with Farrell stepping into the roster of Orange Logo, there could be a little bit of that sort of new member on the team, still a little bit of learning how they play with each other. Maybe that's a factor that is coming into play on this one.
But look at Demon as well. He's coming in today as well. So who's like, these guys have been able to cope a lot better with that. And you know, Orange Logo, one of their strengths in Guild Wars 2 for so long was the fact that their comp was so consistent. You know, they've lost so many people. I wouldn't say so many people. They lost Frey, you know. Frostball came in and replaced him as, you know, Frey had a bit of a gap for a while. And Tage is gone.
Yeah.
This is, you know, Tage was so important to that team. He was very silent, but he was always so key.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
And they've lost the consistency, and they need to regain that to come back into this series, let alone the Pro League.
Absolutely. Well, more Guns Than Roses deservedly taking that game. They were looking incredibly powerful. 412 to 98 is the final score on that one. And I mean, More Guns, absolutely phenomenal performance from them. They've done, they absolutely deserve that victory.
Yeah.
And Orange Logo really need to go back to the drawing board after on the back of that loss and work out quite what went wrong, because we weren't really I was expecting this to be an incredibly close series, but More Guns kind of ran away with that first game.
It was quite close at the start, wasn't it? And as soon as he saw just 2 kills happen on the map, everything changed, because that's so important to get those kills. But when we talk about teams getting kills, we're normally talking about Orange Logo until Pro League started. No, first week, that's what happened. That's how they played, like they've always played to a degree as well, but they've had to change. Now it's the game of Guild Wars 2 is very much about rotations. It's not just about kills, because we're so sustained on the map. If you can't get the kills, you need to be able to pull out good rotations. And in that situation, you know, we just saw people being backed up from more guns, like Zuik on the side as well. Zuik's positioning, he played a stonking game just then, and both Revenants did. In fact, and I love what Demon was doing in terms of his movement, using the staff and his mobility to get around the map very effectively in the nick of time as well. More guns. Every single member of that blue team you saw that as a unit worked extremely well together.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And I mean, that's the biggest thing, is they were always on the same page. I mean, there was multiple times during fights where I can't remember quite which member it was. I think it was Cranox, was incredibly low, like so low, who was finally out of cooldowns. And he'd obviously said on communications with his teammate, look, I am about to go down. Be ready to res me. And immediately, the split second he drops, 2 of his teammates are there, stood right next to him, resing him. And like within a second of him dropping, he's immediately back on his feet. And that's the kind of synergy that needs to be coming out from all of these teams.
And also, you know, maybe, and we've actually seen people change back around. So we can have a look when we go back into Temple, which is our second map here. We haven't actually gone on to a third map. Maybe Orange Logo could come back, but this isn't their strongest map, in all fairness. But More Guns, before I've seen a couple of scrims, and they're quite good on this map sometimes. So I feel like this could be a map where they take it.
Well, we'll have to see who is going to be the team to take this one as we head on to our second map. It is going to be Temple of the Silent Storm. Let's take a look at that intro again.
Victory is never assured in the Temple of the Silent Storm. In this conquest map, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Awareness is key, as powerful meditation points will spawn around the map at various intervals and grant powerful bonuses to the team that claims them. Stillness will grant your team double points for each capture point owned. Tranquility will grant your team control of all 3 capture points. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Temple of the Silent Storm. It's going to be Orange Logo up against More Guns Than Roses. And in a fairly surprising turn of events, More Guns Than Roses taking the first game. I did feel like Orange Logo had an edge coming into this one, but More Guns doing a phenomenal job. And I mean, that first game, the first 3 minutes, nobody was able to get a point. Nobody was even dropped into downstate. Then suddenly More Guns seemed to just flick some switch and just turn on their A game and manage to pull out a pretty convincing victory against Orange Logo. We'll see if Orange Logo are going to have more on their side this time in this second game.
They do. They have switched Denshi back over to Revenant. They've switched Sin back over to NG. So we've got what we had before, you know. We've got more damage. That's what they need to do. That's what they need to bring.
Well, we'll see if that's going to be enough for them. And we'll see what's going to happen in this one. I like that they have kind of said, okay, we've lost this first game. We've lost it pretty convincingly. Let's take a look at what went wrong here and let's fix this. Let's not just go into the second game with the same composition. I mean, they say that's the steps to insanity, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Orange Logo aren't going to allow that to happen. They've changed up their composition, and hopefully for them, he'll be able to change the results of this match. But more Guns N' Roses, if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because they won that first game pretty handedly. They're going to be sticking with the same composition.
It's a good comp for this map as well. I think it's going to do them well. I actually think that this is the way Orange Logo need to play. They need to play for damage. They need to get the kills. They need to use that aggression that the Orange Logo name really goes along with, you know, and that's what they need to bring today. They need to bring the power. They need to bring the aggression. They need to play for the kills. They need to play for the way that's how they play as a team. And this meta at the moment is tough for them to play, and it feels like, and they're feeling it. So we're going to have to see whether or not they can answer the call and win this second game to take us to Forest.
Well, we'll have to see if we do see the third map today. Third map, Forest of Niflhel. We're yet to see it in any of these matchups. So we'll see if Orange Logo are going to be the ones to force us onto it. But the fight already kicking off here.
Look at Demon just stopping Rom as well by using his sword. Not able to be mobile and getting over towards that side of the map. And we are going to see that stop in the end. As we see the support coming out, good support over on the Temple. And look at Demon. Demon is matched up with Syndranir and Feroz here, so we've got Condi removal, but Cranox is having problems here. He's actually having a lot of issues, and he's running. He is avoiding a lot of this damage. And look, we've got more damage on this point coming out, and this feels like a good matchup potentially for the guys of Orange Logo. As long as Cranox is left running, they're going to have some issues.
Yeah, he's topped himself back up though, and it's going to be Zuik the one in trouble now. He's in fact going to be dropped into downstate. Guns N' Tools going to be looking to try and get the res, and actually uses the sneak gyro to sneak that one through. Zuik back up, but Guns N' Tools as well is incredibly low. And Zuik, I don't think he's going to be able to get himself out of this one. There's the execute. Guns N' Tools, in fact, just decides to bail from that one, just charging across the map.
Yeah, mid still Xenix versus a Frostball there as well. And we have, over on the Temple side, Cranox currently still trying to survive. Look, we're going to get the addition here of Guns N' Tools and also Denshi just following him, actually. That's good pressure from Denshi. He's a good target to hit out as well. As we go over towards the midpoint, see the plus. No? Actually, Demon's coming over here as, sorry, Xenix there as well. I don't know why I said Demon. Demon's over on the Temple, everyone. So we have a look at his position there as well. But still, one cap coming in for Orange Logo, of course. Not got long until Stillness comes up. Feels like that's going to be a big, big thing to come into this map as well. This mid-fight over here is just not really going to be changing anything. It's just keeping the points sustained, but the decap comes over on this auto point.
Yep, Guns N' Tools going to be arriving on the scene to get that decap, and actually going to get the cap in their favor as well. Cranox dropped into downstate. Demon as well, just going to be trying to bail on out of there. I think he has been able to make it away. Zuik just distracting the opponents, but it might actually mean that Zuik himself goes down. He's found himself in a fight somewhere, but the man advantage still for Orange Logo. However, the node advantage going for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, they're doing a better job at getting the kills, and that's the way Orange Logo work, and they're able to do that now. And they're moving into a situation where we've got 2 time warps as well for Frostball, so that's really going to help them in their team fighting, but they need to get those kills quickly because they're not going to be able to sustain. And Denshi is having a lot of problems here as he goes into downstate there as well. Is Frostball going to be able to put a quickness to get him up? He do indeed, before I can even talk about it. And Denshi is back up into about half HP, but he's going to get punished again quite quickly here. He drops again as well, but now they need to go off node to make sure they can survive. Frostball gets interrupted. Looks like they're going to pull out the down, and they do, and he is taken fully out there. And the team fight potential. Orange Logo don't want to go in for team fights here because they've not got as much sustain, and now Frostball might drop as well.
Yeah, if it's anything we learned from that first game, More Guns N' Roses are phenomenal at team fighting. Frostball going into that down state because of these skirmishes that keep on happening. Sin is found his ally though, and he's going to be able to pick up Frostball back onto his feet, and now they head towards this stillness buff. Don't think they'll be able to get this one away for free as Kranox arrives on the scene to interrupt that one. But he's in a 2v1, so he needs to be a little bit careful on how aggressive he goes there.
Look at more guns now. They're pulling back the 2-cap. They're going to start to take the lead quite soon. But stillness, like we said before, you know, that's going to be something which is massive. Yeah, I mean, potentially at the moment.
Also gets
decap. Oh, Frostball's going to be able to get the decap down at the bottom as well, over on the midpoint. But look, Demon's really low, so this waterfall fight. Oh, he
blink!
Whoa, the plays from Demon. He survives there very well. But look at Farrells, he's not having any of it, and he's straight back on him. But we're going to see the heal comes out. He interrupts it, and that's a massive play. If they can interrupt this heal again, if he goes for the channel, no, he's able to get a little bit of foot there. Does get knocked back in as well in the end, and that's not a bad job from Orange Logo to make sure the Demon's not got his heal back up for a little bit of time, but needs to get this overload protection off to make sure he's able to survive, and he gets does he get the protection off in the end? Oh, he's got some now from, of course, Guns is just coming in. Is he going to be able to get the rest of it? I don't think so. He's going to be under a lot of pressure, but Denshi is also down on the other side of the map. They need to get this kill onto Demon, otherwise they're going to have a lot of difficulty holding what they are in the map at the moment. I miss the stillness as well. There's so many important things going on at the map. At one time we saw stillness happen. We saw Demon going down. We saw Denshi in very, very low down state here. They need to try and get him up here, but can Syndronic get it? He wants to try and get the kill here more than anything else. Oh, he's going to come back in for the res here.
There it is. At least he's kept his teammate alive for a little bit. Zuik trying to get the execute, but he's overextended and he goes down into down state. That's going to be the execute. That's going to be the res for Dinshi. And that's going to be a beautiful swing for Orange Logo. They're going to get themselves a 2-cap now. And the points are starting to rack up. We might be heading towards a third game unless more Guns N' Roses can find themselves a better situation. Zuik about to respawn, and he does so. Zeonix, he's feeling the damage a little bit here in this fight. Should be able to sustain himself decently for this one, though, as Feroz has found himself outnumbered and might just be in a whole heap of trouble. We're going to have a quick look at the desktop, and then we'll get back into the action. Feroz going to be going down there, and Demon as well, starting to get the pressure.
This is a lot of... There's a lot riding on this at the moment. Feroz completely killed out there. Rom's going to be next, and this could be the comeback potential they're waiting for. And this is perfect timing, because Feroz is going to be respawning quite soon. Rom doesn't want to die now. He just needs to survive, and they don't want to overextend, which is kind of almost what they did. But he's been holding enough and long enough to make sure that he can survive it. Oh, God, he's going to be lucky to really survive this. Goes into Celestial, but it's not enough in the end, and he's going to be taken into downstate. No one is in range for that. Feroz potentially tries it, but that's a bad time for them to lose a player, especially when we've got stillness and we've got tranquility coming up. Demon is in position down there. No one from Orange Logo is in position. Are they? Oh no, Frostball nicked down there just before I saw him, and that's a good job. Nick of time. But is that positioning of the Mesmer going to cost them a lot of support on the map?
More Guns managed to get the stillness importantly though as well, yeah, so that is going to be essentially a double cap coming out from them, and they're going to be slowly but surely starting to even up the points here. It is just going to be 1 cap apiece plus the stillness bonus, and the gate in the middle of the map. So far, neither team really being able to take an advantage over that one. It is going to be Zuik up against Rom and Feroz. Rom just zooming halfway across the map there just to try and keep himself safe. But we're going to see 2 more members enter the fray as well.
Yeah, Zook comes. Oh, Zook and Kranox. This is not a good matchup for them. And we'll see the Mesmer coming in. Oh, nice knockback on Rom, actually, as well. And we see the Time Warps coming out as well from team members, as we do see
Rom in a lot of trouble here. He might just be going into that downstate. He will do so. The res might just be available, though. And actually, the execute comes out. Rom is going to fall, and that's going to be the man advantage on the gate in favor of more Guns N' Roses. They're looking for Feroz as well. Sin elsewhere on the map, getting incredibly low. Might just be going down, and this is terrible news for Orange Logo. Sin is going to go into the downstate. Feroz went down, Dinshi as well, losing out this 1 versus 1. This is falling apart for Orange Logo.
They don't need tranquility. They don't need tranquility. And the thing that happened there, look who's down bot. Frostball had no choice almost, but this decision to put him down there has cost them almost cost them a free cap against themselves and possibly the lead. And that is massive. When you've got such a limited amount of support, you need to make sure you're team fighting with it or getting the damage and the kills. And with the sustain that the guys of More Guns have got, in this map, in those matchups, is massive. And now, this is trouble because they need to try and get Frostball out of this.
Yeah, more guns right now, giving us a tutorial on how to come back into a series. They were almost 100 points down, and now they've tied for the lead with a 2-cap as well. Sin trying to get the decap on the altar, but he's not quite going to get it in time. That is going to be denied. And the 2-cap remains for more guns. The points are stacking up in their favor. Kranox is going to go down, though. So maybe this is the bit of leeway that Orange Logo needed to get themselves back onto this.
Yeah, they're all smaller skirmishes now, so they can fight that a lot better without support, you know. So they can get the pressure on, then they can get the damage, as long as they split these supportive characters up. Guns is going to go down. Oh no, he actually gets healed up there, of course, by his turret, but he still has his elixirs up as well to get rid of conditions, and does have, of course, the tank ability of that elixir gun to help him out if he should so need, to sustain him there. And we do see as well Kranox and Zuik there to offer up a lot of damage support, and with guns and tools he can avoid a lot of damage with that hammer as well. Feels like Thundercap's going to come out, but again, Stillness comes up. Who's in the position to go for that? Because that's going to be an important pickup for one of the teams here. Guns and tools, it looks like he's going to get it for free.
There's no one available to contest. Dinshi is looking to try and get there in time, but I don't think he's got the speed on him. Stillness. No, he does. He managed to get the interrupt. Yeah. Okay, so
but that's a big thing as well, because that was actually really, really good, because they've punished them for that, and they went for the Stillness grab, the Stillness interrupt at the last second, and that's what Orange Logo are really, really good at doing. Those tiny clutch plays, which, you know, it might not feel like it was much, but not only did they punish them for guns and tools leaving that fight, you know, they interrupted the Stillness, but we've still seen Stillness coming out for... no, we saw it coming out for Orange Logo there. So good job in all, but they need to grab the cap so they can grab that advantage from it.
Yeah, well, they're going to grab themselves the altar, so at least they've got some points coming on in. And this is their opportunity to catch up once again. Xenix in a 1v1 over towards the temple, and the gate as well going to be contested. So neither team going to be able to get too much of an advantage here. This sort of pseudo 2-cap for Orange Logo will mean that they can slowly but surely catch up. And in fact, they've won the 1v1 over at gate as well. So this is going to be a pseudo 4-cap, I suppose, coming out for Orange Logo, and that's going to be a fantastic news for them. Although Contestion does come down at gate, so that's going to deny the 2-cap coming out.
I mean, the way they've split here is really, really beneficial for them, and it feels like more guns need to force some kind of team fight here. Team fight situation, but now Zuik is just trying to hold them over towards this also as Kranox comes in as well. Now who's going to win this? This is interesting. Syndroneer's here as an engineer. We've got Engineer and Revenant coming out for Orange Logo, and the two Revenants as well coming out for the team of More Guns Than Roses, of course. I need to have a look at the name, because Guns and Tools I keep saying as well, but Ferals does go down in the end. The extra condition pressure is too much in the end for these guys, and we are going to see him taken out.
Beautiful stun again by Zuik to deny any kind of res, and now Sin might just be going down as well over towards the altar. The gate in this 1 versus 1 keeps on happening. Guns and Tools just denying any tranquility buff, and the temple as well. The 1v1 pretty much going to go on indefinitely there, but it's going to be Demons in a little bit of trouble there. Sin going to be chasing Kranox to try and join in this fight.
They need to win this. They need to win this fight at mid. Otherwise, at the moment, they're on course to lose this game. We've got Tranquility and Stillness coming up as well. They need to make sure they're going to be able to pick this up. But it looks like More Guns are trying to punish, actually. Sorry, one of the Revenants. There we go. Denshi over towards midpoint as he gets down below. But they need to make sure they hold up until everyone's back in position. They are. Frostball must be feeling it at the moment. Down below, you know, losing the NG isn't too bad, because he's really good at being in those 1v1s, but the Mesmer is so important for Orange Logo at the moment. And it's really causing them issues. And now they get the Stillness cap as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is really starting to snowball a little bit now for More Guns Than
No,
Roses.
but look!
Oh, look at the
2
wipe
downs!
Kranox is down. Zuik is down.
But they need the decap on altar. They have to go for this decap right here that I'm currently on. Okay, they've got the kills. They've chosen to not go for Stillness, but they need to make sure they're going for it, and that's where Denshi is going right now. They need to pick up this 2-cap to make sure they stay in the game, and they could even pick up a 3-cap possibly, but they're not going to be able to, because Blue Team are actually going back over here as well to come back onto this node. But Denshi, Oh, wow, they've still got the 2 cap in favor, so it's still ticking. Even this game is very close at the moment, and they need to hold on to these nodes. And it feels like there's no more stillness. Orange Logo need to hold. They need to hold these positions, but they can't team fight at the moment, so they might need to even push Alta.
Yeah.
Wow, this decision. But Xenox going down here is really, really bad for more guns. If he goes down, this is massive towards this point of the game. That's a lot of support, and they could probably even push also if they need to. But look at the mid at the moment. We might even see a decap here. Oh no, Denshi is on point with Syndra here as well. They should be able to tank on point. And there's Rom as well, coming straight into the point. It looks like Orange Logo should be able to keep this for a little bit longer. I feel like I've said that before, that exact quote. 10 more points and they will be able to take the lead. But we've still got 1 node ticking, 4 more guns with 50 seconds left.
Yeah, only 50 seconds left, and look how close the points are right now. Just 6 points in it, and so far, more guns, they're starting to lose out. Orange Logo are about to overtake. Morgans have to start to win these fights. They have to get a cap for themselves, or at very least the decap here on the gate. It's going to be Dinch in a whole lot of trouble here. The dots are ticking, but the Crystal Hibernation is going to top him up, and that is going to mean that this fight might just go in favor of Orange Logo. They've overtaken in points, and they're maintaining the 2 cap. The temple is wide open, but
they need
there's only 20 seconds left.
Oh, this is a good rotation by more guns. They want to take advantage of the situation, the team fight situation. If they get the kills and the decap here, they could take over. We've got 10 seconds left. We're going to see 2 downs. That's another 10 points here. That's going to put them at
5 seconds.
1 point below.
They've got to finish.
We've got 6 and they need to finish it. But look at the altar. Is it going to get decapped as well? And Rom, oh no!
It's over. Wow. Orange Logo take it. Oh my, 6-point victory in favor of Orange Logo. I don't think that could have been any closer at the end of that last fight. That was absolutely insane. I'm almost speechless about that matchup. I mean,
oh my god.
the final fight at the end there, when they got the final 2 kills onto, I think it was Feroz and Sin, so close to taking that 3rd kill as well. If they'd got a decap, if they'd got a cap anywhere, they could have took that game. But it is going to mean, at least it means that it is going to make the series 1-1, and we're going to be able to see a 3rd map.
I want to get up and do a little dance, but I'm not allowed to. Am I?
You can for me, mate. You can for me. I'm not going to stop you.
Oh, wow. That was amazing. Towards the end of that game, the reason I was on the camera on the midpoint, because the movement from Orange Logo on and off the cap, because they knew that they wouldn't be able to sustain it that long, because they knew they didn't have as much support there. Their movement, like Feroz moving off, then Denshi and Rom at different points in time, and Rom went to the other side of the map to negate their potential comeback into that map as well. And Alta, someone got back onto, I can't remember who got back onto the node just in time. If it'd been like 10 more seconds as well, Rom, that movement there would have helped them to save. To save potentially that lead. But that was a cracking game. I really feel like Frostball being down at the Tranquility could have cost them that series as well. And luckily they spread it. They spread all the action around the map, making sure that they couldn't take those team fights. Because you saw it at the end, proof in the pudding.
That was the key thing as well. You said this during the cast. Orange Logo, they were falling behind because they were team fighting. And then they just spread out across the map. They forced the skirmishes, made sure that they weren't in that 5v5 situation, and started to pull themselves back in. And then, I mean, had that team fight started like 10 seconds earlier, that easily could have been a game in favor of More Guns and Roses instead of Orange Logo. But it is going to be 1-1, and that means that we're going on to a 3rd map. We're going on to the Forest of Niflhel. Let's do the map intro and get this game underway.
Welcome to the Forest of Niflhel. In this conquest map, players will vie for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Additionally, on each side of the map, there are 2 bosses that grant 25 points and a bonus to all stats to the team that lands the killing strike. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Forest of Niflhel. I feel like this is the map that has been played most in the Pro League so far. It's been on each and every map rotation. We'll see how this one pans out. I mean, compositions look to be just about the same as in that last map, so maybe it's going to be down to the positioning of the teams here. But I mean, for me, this is pretty much on a knife edge. I don't know who to give this one to. Do you think either team has any slight edge at all?
I just remember one of my favorite games ever of Guild Wars 2 was the Abjured versus Orange Logo on this map, and it was during the World Tournament Series. It was a while ago, and it was in Boston, and I will never forget it because it was one of those maps where Orange Logo were going for kills. They were winning a lot of those fights, and they dominated. They came back in different situations as well, and you can never count these guys out. And today, you cannot count them out because they are in the third map of this series. We're going to a third map. This is exciting stuff. Maybe we didn't expect this to happen, but more Guns N' Roses at present need to be extremely proud of themselves, as they have proven themselves to be very formidable today. And they have got individually and as a team unit, they're playing so well. And we're going to see this movement into the map is going to be extremely important.
Yeah, and immediately both teams deciding they don't even want to fight in that midpoint. They're just going straight for the nodes. We start to see Henge trying to be capped here, but that is going to be denied immediately by Din. She's going to make sure that that can't be taken for free. Oh, just going to see skirmishes across the map, but Zuik already incredibly low. Crystal Hibernation going to keep him alive for a little while, and he's going to be topped up by his teammate.
Yeah, Demon coming into this point and was really, really key, and he came in at the right time, and Zuik is back up to full HP. He got his full heal off with Wash the Pain Away and did a great job at making sure he would survive. But now they're really under pressure, and look at Orange Logo playing the game the way they know how, the best way for them, and they're being fully aggressive on this node. Look at the HP now for these guys. Rom's going quite low himself, so he needs to be careful here as he just gets some defense as well. Nice knockback for Demon there, sorry, cheeky little off. As he has Celestial Avatar back up as well. And actually Kranox is having quite a few problems over on this side as well versus the Engineer. The Engineer in this 1v1 versus Revenant feels sometimes like it's very, very strong, and it's almost, you know, you need to do a lot as a Revenant to win that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see now Rom just trying to kite around the very edge of this fight, but Dinch might be in a little bit of trouble. Guns and Tools and Zuik both pressuring him here. He's trying his best to just evade everything, but he is going to go down in the end. Guns and Tools going to be there to finish him off. Rom trying to get over for the res, but oh no, he is going to be able to get the res off. Dinch gets back up, and now Guns and Tools is the one in a 2v1. But Dinch still incredibly low, doesn't have a whole lot of health to play with here, and they're going to back away over towards the keep. Guns and Tools, again, incredibly low on HP for himself, but I believe he got the sneak gyro off there, so going to be able to scoot on up towards the keep, get to the rest of his team, and in the meantime, Sin has finally won his 1v1 against Kranox, and that is going to mean that each of the side points has been taken. And that is going to be the points slowly but surely stacking up.
Welcome to Time Warp Fest 2015 over on the midpoint. We see currently 3, I think we saw a total of there, coming out onto that side of the map in the end as well, as possible, normally taking advantage of as many as he possibly can with that split, of course, on that shatter. And that is a great job from Orange Logo winning that point side of the map. But Rom as well, the reason I was having a look at his build, just to make sure, is because they went for more support and more damage, sorry, and he needed to go a little bit more supporty. So he actually changed from soldiers, which is a bit more selfish, to, not selfish in a bad way, but you know, for his own survival, to more team support with extra healing coming out from that Celestial Amulet. So of course, that change was very important. Should check that in the last match, but pretty sure that's what he ran with. Feroz is very low on HP as he gets really focused here with the damage. And are we going to see a res coming out from Denshi as they put Infused Light on him, of course, with that res capability through the Herald trait, of course, as well. And now they are trying to cause a lot of pain. Reverse all that damage onto their opponents, which they're so good at. And Zuik down over on the other side of the map as Rom wins that 1v1. It's a very tough one to win against that Druid, of course, and Rom does a good job at finishing it off.
Yeah, Guns and Tools going to be looking for the decap over at the mine. He needs to get it, but I don't think he's going to be able to, because we can see that Sin is going to arrive on the scene. He does get the decap, but Dinshi is going to go down, as you say, and it's going to be Kranox as well. Just doing his best to kite away for us, trying to finish off these kills, but he's just not able to find his targets. And now, in a 2v1, he's trying to back away over towards the keep. Crystal Hibernation going to keep him alive for a little bit longer as he gets over towards Frostball. A little bit of light coming out there, but Feroz doing a good job to stay alive in this skirmish. Should be able to keep this battle up a little bit longer.
Yeah, indeed. Farrell's very low. He needs to be careful himself on this point. Are we going to see the quickness res coming out from Frostball? We are indeed. He's back up and into the fight. And this, we saw this before. They actually were able to take full advantage of this. And Frostball is, we've seen, sorry, saw a Time Warp coming out there from a Xenix as well. Frostball now trying to just hold on point while the rest of the members playing off node as well. Krenoc's dropping quite low. He returns back to the Mesmer Fort, team support, and now we're going to see him get some extra HP there as well. So we see another Time Warp coming up, and Time Warp's normally being so useful in ending fights so quickly. That hasn't really been the case here. It's so sustained, but Syndrony drops into downstate over towards this mine node as well as he gets outnumbered by Zuik and Guns and Tools. But is that going to cost them? But Rom is still wandering down below the bottom of a keep, and he's not able to save that. And he looks like he's going to contest in the 1v1 versus Zuik, which he knows he can win, as we've seen that happen before. But now Rom's chasing. He has to chase Guns and Tools. What a good counter. Let's just leg it. Let's keep us staying over on the midpoint, maybe disengage when we need to, and hold the sides.
Just force them to chase us around. Feroz is in a whole lot of trouble. Rom trying to get over to the point, but Guns and Tools gets the decap for himself, and that's going to be more Guns N' Roses with a cap advantage now. Rom arriving for the 1v1, but Feroz solo, as is Kranox. Both of these teams doing their very best to keep their allies alive, and they are going to do so over on the keep. This team fight exploding here as Xenix as well gets pressured onto, but he's going to be able to survive. Feroz finally goes down. There's the execute. No res available, and that is going to be a man advantage for more Guns.
Syndrony can win this 1v1 over here on the other side, but so can Zuik in very, very similar situations. And now it feels like Guns and Tools. They've changed this matchup between Guns and Tools and also Rom there. I do believe we've had a DC, unfortunately. Oh, in that first 5-6 minutes of the game. And actually, this could cost them because I don't think we can see a reset.
It has to be within the first 2 minutes. So this is bad news for them. I really hope he's got that double router available to be able to get back into this
We've
one.
seen an AFK. That's good sportsmanship right there. Good Guns and Tools is going to pull out. And that is a decision. That is such a big decision for the blue team at the moment because this is Pro League. They don't have to do that. That is complete and utter sportsmanship from one of the main men on this team. Obviously, they're main men, but that's really, really ridiculous. How I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
we know how important.
What a gesture coming out from Guns and Tools there. But Rom is back on the map, so it is going to continue to be the 5 versus 5. But as you say, I mean, what a guy.
It's well halfway through the cap. Like exactly when Rom DC'd, he jumped off the node. Anyway, enough of that. We got 2 side nodes as well. Sorry if there's a bang and on about that, but it's quite big and important. Frostball now as well is going to try and get just extra support on this point, but we're not really just seeing them sustain, and mid is going to be sustained forever. We need to see these 1v1s built. Actually one on the sides as well. Guns and Tools does start to drop very low, but he's in a 1v2 situation, and if they get the kill on him, this is going to be quite big. Demon comes in, he's going to be able to get his heal off. They need to interrupt, they do. Oh, good job. And we are actually going to be able to see them push him away. Actually came out, a lot of heal came out for Guns and Tools in the end. Good job from those guys. Zuik quite low himself in this 1v1 now over on the other side with Sinjin here, but their point score is starting to actually increase quite heavily here. Demon dropping very low himself, and look at this man right here. Feroz just jumps onto Kranox, punishing him as he just tries to get away, and we're going to see him completely be demoted from life. And wow,
relegated.
That's a new one. I'm using that.
Well, it's going to be Zuik as well. Might just be about to find himself in a demotion. Guns and Tools has arrived over at the henge. Demon down onto the ground and is going to be able to escape from that one narrowly. Still in the downstate, but the res coming on out. He should be able to get back onto his feet, and he will do so. But the henge so close to being capped, 1 tick away, but it doesn't go down. Demon able to land onto that node and deny the cap from Orange Logo. But look at the points right now. While all of this has been going on, more Guns have had a 1 cap advantage, and they've slowly but surely been able to build up a lead.
It's an okay rotation, but Zuik in the end is feels like he's gonna lose this team fight. And Syndrony has more sustain in the end and tankability, even though he's playing Marauder Amulet as well. So he feels like he will be able to win that in the end, but Zuik gets off his heel as well. There's no interrupt coming out from him there. And Xenix versus Frostball, again, you know, that's not gonna change. But after all that fighting over here on the mine, like you said, they need to get this kill on Kranox. They need some kind of AoE pressure, but they've not got it. They've got a lot of single target focus damage, but really the engineer being in that situation with the sneak gyro has helped them survive that fight. Zuik going down on the other side of the map as well. Important as we see the double cap coming out and Orange Logo coming back at this last minute in the game.
Yeah,
not
they
last minute, but 6
absolutely
minutes.
need this as well. They are over 100 points down, but now they get the 2 cap. And as well, they're trying to pressure onto this keep. So if they can maintain this 2-cap for a while, they will be able to catch up in points. But there are only 5 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock. Orange Logo don't have a whole lot of time to play with it. More Guns N' Roses, they need to get a cap on the board right now. Or this could be Orange Logo running away with the game once again, managing to catch up, even though they were behind for so long.
I like this movement, actually, from Guns and Tools, but Syndrome has completely countered it, actually, because Rom went over towards the side. I think Guns and Tools was using him as a distraction so he could move over for a decap over on the henge, and then the blue team could still sustain. So that was a really good idea, but Syndrome caught it out, and Rom didn't move to the last minute, and they actually matched up quite well. So now it's going to be a battle of the engineers. Syndrome not playing engineer for that long versus Guns and Tools, a veteran on the engineer as well. But Denshi low down over towards the midpoint. Wasn't any point in me saying that at all. But Frostball, he's going to get focused. He hasn't died yet in this game, and he's... Wow, he reached 73 HP. He's back up to 2k, needs support. He's pumping out the boons to try and help his survivability here. Look at the boonage on this man. Protection and regeneration helps him get almost to 10k there, as well as getting supported by other members as well. But Syndrome dropping low on the other side of the map, and maybe the veteran in the form of Guns and Tools will pick up this fight. And Rom losing almost over on the other side, potentially, but he's got Celestial Avatar, so he will be okay in the end. And we've still got the 1-cap. Look at this point score as well, 200 to 232 for the team of More Guns Than Roses. And blue team, oh, Frostball needs to be careful there. He almost lost that. And wow, that was pressure. But he's picking the moment. It was like, do I help Feroz there or lose the cap? You can't at this point in the game. And Feroz just had to make his way back up. I mean, he might lose Feroz at the moment.
Yeah, might absolutely.
No,
Feroz is going to be able to top himself back up again, though, but Zuig went down elsewhere on the map, and that is going to be the man advantage for Orange Logo. They already have the cap advantage, and now they're looking to turn that into a 2-cap. But once more, Demon in a 2 versus 1, trying to escape, but look at the damage coming out from Dinch. In the meantime, the cap is coming on through. Demon manages to deny the cap for just a second there, but it's not going to matter because the 2-cap comes through. There's only 3 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock, and Orange Logo have overtaken once again. It feels like a repeat of the last game. More Guns, they were ahead, but they've lost the lead, and they've lost 2 members. Demon finally respawning, but look at Sin and Feroz. They're getting incredibly low.
Oh, no.
If More Guns can finish either of these guys, they might be able to achieve something here.
I feel like Demon should have moved into this fight over on the henge. He was going for the decap, but they've got the kill on Syndrome here. Maybe it was the best move if they don't get him back up, but they do get him back up in the end. And I feel like Demon moving into a teamfight situation might have been a better idea because they've been doing well in it. But I feel like More Guns have actually increased their team fighting capability with the decap over on that side of the map. We could see, oh no, we've actually seen Guns and Tools going down here. Kranok's not able to get in for the res either.
That is disastrous for More Guns N' Roses right now. 40 points down as Orange Logo are looking to potentially finish this game out. Just 2.5 minutes left. Is Dinshi starting to get focused down here. Kranok's on the other side as well, feeling the pain coming out. But Dinshi in a 2 versus 1 here over on the keep, and just doing a good job to survive. Kranox might not be so lucky though. He's dropped into downstate. The rest going to be coming through from his team though, and they managed to pull him back to his feet. They're staying in these fights, but they don't have a whole lot of time left to play with.
No, don't indeed. 2 minutes left in the game, and Kranok's is very low. He needs to back off here. He needs to be patient just while the rest of his team are helping him out. We are going to see the heal coming in, but look at Frostball. He's in the right position now in the team fight, and he's going to work. They're going to work on Kranok's for sure. He's very low, but Zuik as well drops very low as well, and this team fight could be the be-all and end-all of this game. More Guns Than Roses cannot die on this node, otherwise they will lose this series. And they've done so well at trying to keep it in their favor, and it feels like even towards the end of this game, if they could pull people off to the side, maybe they could win this game. But Zuik trying to get res here, still comes out. Zuik close to res. Oh my good lord. They're going to be able to keep the point in their favor. And Guns and Tools, using that sneak gyro as well, really saved the day. And it feels like he's been so influential, like many of these members today as well. And I'm feeling for these guys. They need to make sure they can win something in this team fight over on this henge node as well. But Dinshi is very low over on the midpoint. He drops. Kranok's comes in for the extra cleave damage. He's being dropped so low. Oh my god, the pressure. Syndrome tries it, but he's not going to be able to do it. Look at Dinshi and Feroz as well. Feroz downstated, but he's going to come back up. Still, we got 55 seconds left on the map.
They've got to kill. Sint is going to go down as well. This could be what more Guns N' Roses need, but they've only got 50 seconds left to do it, and they've got 40 points to gain. Sint goes down. The execute going to come through. The keep might just be captured here, and they're only 30 points away now. The 1v1 over at Mine. They're just battling away, but over at Henry's Guns and Tools against Feroz goes down as well. Zuid going to finish that kill up. That's a crucial 5 points. Just 22 down now. If they've got the cap on keep as well, there's only 30 seconds left to the clock. I can't do the maths in my head quick enough, but they're going for the bosses. If Orange Logo can take this and there's no answer from more guns, they're going to win the game. There's only 20 seconds left. Frostball has gone down as well as they're 1v1ing over on the boss.
This is a massive boss kill.
So
Blue team get it!
They got it!
Push ahead! And they've got the cap as well!
They're 10 seconds away!
Oh my god, they need a decap mid! They've got a kill as well! Two cap!
They've got it!
Oh
they're
my
20
god!
points ahead!
More Guns N'
Roses have taken the victory! What?
Whoa!
What a match! I am. What is this? This Pro League has been absolutely insane. I mean, we've had some of the craziest games of Guild Wars 2 you can dream of.
Oh my god.
I mean, after the first game, I thought more guns were like leaps and bounds ahead of what we expected. The second game then was so close, and it was Orange Logo that took it. And then, I mean, that final game, it was so back and forth. I think the leader swapped places about 5 times across the game. It was absolutely insane.
And one thing I feel like as well, you know, Denshi went for the boss, and that was, if Blue Team hadn't have gone for that boss, you know, I feel like maybe they would have pushed ahead on point score. I can't remember what the point score was towards the end of that game, but that pickup of the boss, that, you know, that last hit is so. Oh my god!
It
did everything. It can be so.
It's so crucial to get that
It is so crucial. It's so crucial. It doesn't matter how much damage you do. It's just literally the last hit, last tick of damage on that boss.
You saw as well on the boss. There was both of them on it, and the damage was sticking. It was on about 1/5 of his HP, and both of them kind of stopped DPS, and they were like, "We can't afford to use cooldowns on this and allow the enemy to just get that one big hit." But in the end, the game did go over to more Guns N' Roses. I believe we should be able to get an interview sorted with Guns and Tools. He's going to be very happy, with that one. I'll see if I can get him going on the internet, not the phone. We'll have a chat with him.
Phone-ins right here. So yeah, I mean, that was. I've got to be honest. I'm a little bit. I'm going to use flabbergasted as a very English phrase to come out right there, because I am a little bit. Because I was expecting Orange Logo to pick up that game, but that is the second defeat for them in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Even though we saw them playing so confidently. And this Pro League is up in the air. This Pro League is got more guns now. Yeah. Winning another series.
It is insane. I mean, let's just take a quick look at our standings on the back of that game. It was a 2-1 victory there for more Guns N' Roses, taking it over Orange Logo. And I mean, what a series of games. That is one of the most hard-earned victories I think I've ever seen.
It could be, yeah.
I mean,
it really could be.
I definitely feel like they deserved that win. We are just going to get this interview sorted out and get this underway with Sven, or Guns and Tools, from more Guns Than Roses. And here we go. We've got him on Skype. We've got him ready. He looks pretty happy with himself. Let's bring up this interview. Sven, Guns and Tools, how are you feeling off the back of that ridiculous series?
Oh, I'm feeling really good. Like, I'm really hyped.
Yeah.
we didn't expect to win this. I think I said that in the first week of Pro League. Yeah. We expected to get like fifth place at best to stay there, because we're a new team. And yeah, that's kind of unexpected. It worked out very well, and I'm super hyped.
So what is it? What would you nail it down to, especially towards the end? What was going on in TeamSpeak or whatever you guys use that you got that? I mean, how crucial was that boss for you, really?
That boss was. Well, that won us the game, obviously. I mean, like TeamSpeak, we were like going crazy and trying to count and like do the math on if it's gonna be possible with 1 point. And we were just like, for 1 minute we were just talking and arguing if we should go for boss or not. And well,
who made the call?
Good thing. I have no idea, actually. I was just
Too much chaos.
and I knew that I just had to hold the point there.
Yeah.
And we got the kill on Frostball, so I thought maybe that's gonna win us the game without the boss. And well, the other guys went for it. And
You got the 2-cap in the end as well.
Yes. I don't even know if the 2-cap was enough, like without the boss. Can't even tell.
Yeah, I can't remember how many points there were actually, but that you coped a lot better with the skirmishes on the sides, and I saw some nice movement from you guys that I don't think I've seen before really. Some communication, like you waited very patiently, you didn't run into caps, and I remember this from when you and Cranox spawned together. And actually, it might not have been Cranox, but you and someone else spawned together, and Rom chased over towards the mine, and you tried to stealth move over towards the henge, but Syndranir came down. Like those kind of movements, I've not really seen from you guys, but that patience is very key. It's very good. Yeah,
it's really important in this meta to, like, you just have to rotate perfectly. Like if you lose a cap because you run into the wrong direction for once, then it's really hard to get it back in this bunkerish meta.
You're quite shocked at the moment, I think.
Yeah,
you feel it.
I am.
I think we,
as I said, we didn't really expect that.
Yeah, I think we're feeling the same.
Yeah, I mean, that was an insane series. We'll leave you to cheer with your teammates over your victory. I'm sure you're very, very happy with yourselves. Maybe time for some celebratory drinks or something tonight.
Because
drinks, I mean, yeah, that's for sure.
You definitely deserve the victory. Thanks so much for the interview, and good luck throughout the rest of the Pro League.
Thanks, too.
So we are going to be heading into a short break, but do not go anywhere, because after that ridiculous series, it's going to be hard to match it, but TCG and Chaotic Contingency are going to do their very best to put on a show. TCG, with already a loss on the board, they're going to be really looking to prove themselves here.
Oh, they don't want to be put in a similar situation to Orange Logo currently at the moment as well. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
We will indeed. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hello everybody and welcome back to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Munchables and with me once again is Jebro, and I'm worn out after that series. That was absolutely insane.
Well, if you weren't awake tonight, I might have woken you up a little tiny bit, because that was a brilliant series, which went the way we might not have been expecting it to.
I mean,
yeah.
Props to More Guns. They deserve that victory. I mean, the first game was heavily in their favor. They honestly stomped it a little bit in that first game, but then the second two games of the series were so close.
Oh, it was ridiculous. An Orange Logo, you know, as well, playing with... They changed up the comp and they were playing well, but it feels like, you know, what Guns and Tools was saying is, and, you know, even what was on Reddit, you know, what the... Grouch Josh Davis actually posted as well. It's quite accurate. You know, rotations are so important at the moment, and that patience and that composure that more Guns had really took them quite far in that game. And you know, that decisions, though, what he was talking about, the decision to go for boss, was so key. Like, do we do this? Do we risk everything? You know, because at the moment, you know, at the end they did get the 2-cap, but that decision to go for that boss, you know, maybe. Was definitely the thing that won it in the end.
I think it was. I think they, at the end of the game, they had like a 21-point lead.
Yeah.
So if they hadn't got the boss, I think they would have lost. So, I mean,
but that could have gone.
It was
way,
literally
you know,
on a coin flip because there was a member there from Orange Logo as well. So it was literally on a coin flip on who actually won that game.
It's so painful. I mean, the Orange Logo guys as well, I really feel for them at the moment, because they've come back from being, you know, losing members over the last like 4 or 5 months now, and they've actually come back quite well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough, unfortunately, in the end.
No, it was not. But enough about that series. I mean, we could talk about it all night, in all honesty, but we have another best of 3 to come. Let's take a look at our standings for tonight after that 2-1 victory in favor of More Guns Than Roses. We're going to be moving on into our 4th and final best of 3. It's going to be the Civilized Gentleman up against Chaotic Contingency. Now, the Civilized Gentleman came in sort of as one of the favorites of the entire tournament. So far, they're only 1-1 in the standings.
Yes, so they need to be, you know, they need to win this, and they need to win it probably confidently as well for themselves. Yeah. But Chaotic, if they can make their mark today, then, you know, they could potentially go and do what More Guns are doing at the moment. The moment they really need to pick up that win.
They absolutely do, and we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. If you think you know who is going to be able to take this series, make sure you throw down your points and put your money on the line in Twitch chat, or not real money, but you know, put your coins.
I wonder how many people. I kind of want to know how many people voted for Orange Logo and put them how much gold there was, like, betted against.
How much the house won.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people might have been actually going for Orange Logo, and
sure,
you're gonna make it. You know.
I mean, Orange Logo is certainly coming into the Pro League from the start of the season. They were a bigger name for sure, more of a household name within the Guild Wars 2 scene. And I mean, More Guns Than Roses certainly looking to make a name for themselves with that kind of statement. But make sure you put your points down over in Twitch chat, and you might be able to win yourself 2,000 gems, or if you get second place, a consolation prize of 800 gems. But we'll be giving out the winners, the prizes to the winners when the stream, or when the European stream ends tonight. And you can also go and bet on the NA games as well. So if you're wanting to win those gems, make sure you watch the NA Pro League later. But we're ready to get onto the map. I believe it is going to be once again the battle for Kylo. Let's have that map intro one last time.
In the Battle of Kylo, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Capturing these objectives can be quite difficult at times, as the enemy team may choose to rain fiery balls of death upon you from their trebuchet. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Battle of Kylo. We'll see whose time is ticking away as we fight for the clock tower. It's going to be the Civilized Gentleman up against Chaotic Contingency. Let's take a look at the builds that these guys are going to be running.
Indeed. Let's jump over to, of course, Drezzy first of all. He's going to be playing Engineer. Very, very good multi-classer indeed. Going to be running with that rune of leadership to go for extra boon duration as well as extra stats there as well. Going to be running with inventions, also going to go for the alchemy as well as going for scrapper. Then we're going to go over towards Lord Asuris, going for earth, water, and tempest, of course. Going for staff. Everyone's opting for the staff. So we've talked about that a lot tonight as well. Boon. Boons, indeed, coming up from the Mesmer here. So he's going for, Halcyon is going for soldiers. We saw Sentinels coming out as well, so going for power, toughness, and vitality. So he's going to be gaining a little bit more damage there through the power stat as well, being 1200. And then we're going to go to Karzez. He's going to be going for condition, of course, Revenant, as well as probably Freylina, who has dropped Necro now. And they've gone for what, the double Revenant. Freylina has been dropping a little bit as Necro. It feels like Necro kind of moving out a little bit, but we do have that on the other side of the map as well.
Yeah, so interestingly, gonna see the prototype running with that Necro despite it really not faring all too well recently with this meta. But again, the double Condi Rev, I would assume Angie is running Condi as well.
Yep, we got double Condi Rev here as well as Karam going for Ellie, of course, staff as well. Water, Earth, Tempest. We can tell these guys are ready up, actually, because we are ready to go. We know the story. It's Bunker Mesmer being played over here by El Presidente, who is coming in because, of course, Farrell's went over towards Orange and Logo. And imagine if Chaotic Contingency could take a win versus TCG tonight. Maybe he would be upset about that movement, but we'll have to wait in the future because that's not happening. The prototype, probably one of the best, easily, Necros on the EU at the moment. We don't have many, but he's always been very prominent as a Necro. Haven't really seen him playing anything else. It's all about the Condis for him, as he's going for the very Condi-heavy amulet there. And Angie, of course, as we said before, is going to be playing on that Condi Rev as well.
Okay, well, we'll let everyone know that we are ready to kick this series off. Beautiful dress there, Angie's sporting.
It's coming in as well for
I've got to be honest,
these guys today.
If I was heading into battle, I probably wouldn't have picked a dress myself. Maybe I'm a bit weird. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't usually wear a dress regardless of the situation, but, you know, each to their own, each to their own. But we are ready to get everything underway. And
well, anything goes, mate, at the moment, really. Today and last week. I mean, today, in all honesty, was quite slow going in the first two games. You know, it was very sustained, it was very controlled, and it was slow. But then the last series and the series before, we saw it started to improve, and last series was ridiculous. So I'm kind of looking forward to, again, you know, Chaotic Contingency at the moment have nothing to lose because they're not, but everything to gain because they're not really doing so well in the Pro League at present. But we're still, you know, third series in, third week in. They need to try and pull something out. They're having tough games. I feel like they can do something versus CCU today.
Yeah, definitely feel like they have an opportunity. I'm really intrigued as to how well El Presidente does in his first Pro League game here. We'll see if he's going to be able to step up to the plate and fill the shoes of Feroz, or whether it's going to be lights out for Chaotic Contingency. We already see that the mansion is going to be capped here by the looks of things. So one cap advantage is going to be coming out for Chaotic Contingency. Fantastic start for them, but El Presidente already getting taken incredibly low. He's trying to dodge, trying to survive this one, but he might just be about to go down. The Condis are going to be enough to drop him into that downstate. The execute being channeled. They're trying to get the res, and they might just be able to do it. They do. He's back on his feet, but look at the health bars for CC right now.
That's the problem as well. And look over on the other side of the map, we've actually seen Dreza going for this 1v1 versus Alice as well. So they're going to have to be careful over on that side of the map. El Presidente and downstate as well as also Angie Rev. Things are not going well very early in the game, and TCG are looking at dominating quite early and taking that cap off of that team.
Yeah, the prototype as well, incredibly low. This might be, I mean, what a start. 4-man white potentially if they can finish off the prototype as well. He is going to be able to hang on for a little while. The respawns are coming through, so they aren't going to get the full white, but they managed to get 3 men down within the first 2 minutes of the game. Ridiculously strong performance from TCG. They've got themselves a 2-cap, and now they're looking for the windmill as well.
And Karam, might have a little interesting.
I believe we'll swap over to my camera for a little bit.
Oh no, here we go.
We're seeing a little bit of light coming out. We are back into the action. It's okay.
Oh, so close to get Karam out. Oh my god. They get him up in the end. The pressure was there. I believe, did we see one of the Revenants coming in? Must have seen an infused. I don't think we did actually. Alice goes to mid. Look at that free cap. Power coming out from TCG. They want to own this map right now. And Alice doesn't want any of mid at the moment actually, because they need to watch all the points. And now Alice goes towards midpoint, and that's pretty massive. But we might see the DK coming out from Prototype. He gets it. He dodges a potential thunderclap that comes out from Dreze there as well. So he needs to try and maintain that 1v1 situation. Alice goes up towards midpoint as well now as Helseth does come into the node. And that's actually going to be a good place to try and keep them, Esmer, if they can try and team fight elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. CC do manage to get the decap, but honestly, they need a little bit more than just that. They need to pick up this mansion for themselves. They are going to be slowly but surely ticking that one up, but there is a Revenant, an Engineer, and a Mesmer arriving on the scene to deny this. Dreze is going to be able to get his health back up to a more respectable point, and Angie is down somewhere else on the map. The res doesn't seem to be coming through anywhere, and she might just be falling here. 10 vulnerabilities stacked up as he slowly but surely bleeds out. The res might just come through here, but the health bar is still going down. It's going to get interrupted, and that is going to be Angie going down for good. 4 men left for CC. Are they going to be able to get anything off the back of this one? They seem to be losing out in this fight.
I don't know. I mean, Helseth's doing a fantastic job over here supporting his team, as Lord Asura is actually stuck at mid. So all the support is coming from Helseth at the moment, but resing power is coming from the Revenants as well. With infused light, and the Prototype goes down. Oh no!
Execute.
Last second, he was so close to getting up, and that's when we're going to see the rest of Chaotic Contingency probably fall, as well as we see people from TCG start to disengage. But this is normally where you see a point in the team where you might see them actually dying because they've overcommitted. But they are wiping up on this node at the moment. Andrew Rev coming from the respawn, Karam downstated as well. The Prototype respawning, they need to spread this out, or they need to regroup, because 240 points almost come onto the board, and Andrew Rev going down is going to be the end and the beginning again of this free cap coming out from TCG.
The triple cap coming out from TCG in just a couple of seconds as well is just annihilating so many members. I don't even know how many people they killed from CC there.
They're not even letting them into the map at the moment.
It's not even a matter of wiping them. They're like rotating the kills. The second anyone respawns, someone else on Chaotic Contingency has gone down. CC just consistently 1 or 2 men down in these fights, and it just means that TCG are able to continue to snowball this. The clock tower has been decapped though, so at least CC is slowing down the point generation. But I mean, we're almost 5 minutes into this game, and the Civilized Gentlemen are just under 300 points right now.
It feels so hard for the Necro at the moment to come into this game.
Yeah, I mean, Prototype, he's going to get rezzed up there. He's going to be able to escape from the fight. But it's just so difficult for these Necros to play in the current meta. Dreze could be in trouble here. He's being focused down, but he's jumping over towards the rest of his teammates. Is going to be knocked into down state, but the res going to be coming out from Kazas. But Kazas might have overextended to try and get that res. He might have found himself in a bit of a tricky situation. Dreze did go down in the end, as did Alessi, but the res comes out, and actually this is a good fight for Chaotic Contingency. Angie Rev, though, is going to be the next focus target. Their heals coming out left, right, and center to try and keep themselves alive. El Presidente, though, is going to go down into that down state. Is anyone going to be able to get the res? That's the question. He's trying to pull himself to safety. Angie the Rev trying to get him, and she is going to be able to get that res.
That's power there. Karam brings out the protection, of course, from the Earth Overload, and that was good support. So they need this. The game at the moment, as it is currently over. This lead is too ridiculous to come back from. They need a free cap. They need to play perfectly. At the moment, they can't do that. They are starting to decap at present. They've got the windmill, and it feels like this is how the beginning of the game should have gone. And this might be a map experience thing, a scrim experience thing as well. Then they may not have the practice on Kylo they need against a team like TCG, unfortunately, with the experience they have. But I feel like there's some potential for them to come into a second game maybe as well. But you never know. Maybe they can come back from almost the impossible.
Yeah, they'll certainly need a miracle to pull themselves back into this, but Kazas does go down. Actually, as I say that, he's going to be picked back up onto his feet, and Le Prototype is going to be traded across for him. He goes down, in fact, goes up to heaven. And now Chaotic Contingency on just 64 points, really struggling to find themselves anything here.
Demotion from life, promoted to heaven. Depends which way you want to look at that. But we're over on the midpoint at the moment. Now we're seeing some great player movement from TCG as well. They're just being dominant in a lot of situations, not only in their skirmishes and their team fighting, but their rotations are very powerful as well, and they're able to win this game pretty well as it is. CC are looking for matchups at the moment, as well as looking for any kind of weaknesses in TCG to potentially take advantage of in the second game. Maybe they've found something over towards this windmill point, but Andrew Rev dropping low, as well as Draze, and it feels like Draze could probably get away. He is dropped into Elixir S. He doesn't does have Stealth Gyro, and he gets off his heal as well from that turret, of course, and then able to come back in and do a lot of damage as he gets the support and focus he needs. Freylina dropping low, but I don't feel like he's going to back off.
No, my big question right now is there's only 30 points left for TCG to get. Can they get the 3-cap? Can they finish on that 3-cap? Or is it just going to be the 2-cap victory? 25 points left. Andrew Rev going to be the focus La Prototype, using that Life Force just to keep himself alive here. El Presidente, though, the boons, the Condis are stacking up on him. Might just be the next target. La Prototype as well is probably going to go down any second now. He's going to go into the down state and will likely go down. Kaz is able to just take him out in that 1 versus 1. And that is going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. 504 points to just 65 of Chaotic Contingency. The Civilized Gentleman looking absolutely dominant in that series.
Yeah, in so many situations. And unfortunately, again, you've got Chaotic Contingency. Things in their team are fairly chaotic at the moment because, they've had the changes. They've got different people in there, Andrew Rev and Demon as well, and it's a different comp. And, the Necro as well feels like it's being punished at the moment. You've seen Freylina playing on the other side, He's dropped Necro now. He's playing Revenant. We've seen Necros being dropped today a lot. We saw Posey being swapped out. I think we saw Posey being subbed in for Blackjack instead of the Necro, as far as I remember. It feels like it was a long time ago.
Posey swapped after the first game.
That's right. So it was for Blackjack as well. So, we're feeling this weakness of the Necros, something that's coming out as well.
Yeah.
And he was trying to match it up towards the end versus the Revenant, which was working a bit better, but still, again, there's so many evades coming out from the Revenant. It's very tough to try and take down.
Yeah, and I feel like it's something that it's not necessarily that Necros are specifically weak, but it feels very much like a Necro's Achilles heel is that Condi Revenant. They just don't seem to be able to match that same level of pressure, and it's a similar kind of... They're looking to put out the same kind of pressure that a Condi Rev is going to put out.
Yeah.
And it's just that a Condi Rev seems to be doing it.
You can't sustain above those conditions, I mean, it seems like it's very tough, and they need to be supported significantly. And a lot of that game was about them trying to survive so they could switch it around. But, the way TCG rotated in and out of fights, as well as just winning the fights, which is almost as simple as that sometimes, they were very successful at it. And Chaotic Contingency have got some issues they need to solve in this next game.
Yeah, they've certainly got their work cut out, but... potentially final game if TCG can keep up the play that they managed to do on that first map. It's going to be over on the Temple of the Silent Storm. Let's take a look at the map intro before we kick this off.
Victory is never assured in the Temple of the Silent Storm. In this conquest map, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Awareness is key, as powerful meditation points will spawn around the map at various intervals and grant powerful bonuses to the team that claims them. Stillness will grant your team double points for each capture point owned. Tranquility will grant your team control of all 3 capture points. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are. The game has already begun here on the Temple of the Silent Storm. Civilized Gentlemen 1-0 up in this series. We'll see if there's anything that Chaotic Contingency are going to be able to do about this one. Already the fight kicking off, though. Kaz is going to be the focus target. It's going to be able to heal himself straight back up, though. It's going to be Andrew Rev on the other side who's going to be taking all of the damage. It's actually in a 1 versus 1, though. She's managing to do a decent job to at least fight back here.
Whoa, the pressure that just came out from Frey. That was insane burst.
As I say, she's doing a good job in this 1v1. Just
it was.
Pretty much
literally
one
as you
shot.
said it. I mean, that was a Condi, like so much burst coming out. But we're going to go over towards the midpoint. and check out what's going here as well. Now, what's Frey going to do? Of course he's going to +1 because he can. Because mid-fight's okay at the moment. In fact, it's very even. So now Karam is going to be easily taken out by Freylin here. And I don't mean that as a slight on the Karam, but that's a lot of pressure. And he does well to try and get out of there in the end. Needs the Vapor Form on point to just keep the node sustained in the end. And it probably... Oh no, Angie is actually going to go back towards the altar. I'm not sure about this movement because Frey can just return. And it's a very inviting place to go, but actually Frey's not going to do it. He's just going to +1 mid. He doesn't need to. He does not need to at all because they've done this. They've already... Their sweeps up midpoint. Frey could have just gone to altar again, to be honest, and just got another kill because...
I mean,
look at the health piling up the score.
Look at the health bars on Chaotic Contingency right now. There's 3 red health bars already.
Yeah.
Nobody available to res them. Angie is in all kinds of trouble. Karam stood nearby, but not a whole lot he's going to be able to do to help his teammate. They're in a 2 versus 3 right now. There's already 2 caps. This altar is the last point remaining, but I don't think they're going to be able to protect it because Karam's down. Angie trying to get the res, but it's actually just going to be a straight-up 5-man wipe. TCG are having none of it today.
Do TCG need to do something after this? Because it feels like they're just going to clean up. They are waiting. They are waiting for them to move out of the spawn. They're getting ferocity. They're getting the kills. They want this done. They want this over. They get the free cap. They get they're not going to go for ferocity. They're not going to be that cheeky, apparently. They could have, because they're getting the kills. They're getting everything they need. But Chaotic Contingency cannot give up. They're going to push for far at the moment as well, and they should be able to get the decap, and they need to make sure that they do block people from going into that node, or at least try and survive everywhere else. Prototype is already low as he tries to get away from members, tries to distract, and they need to use this confidence against TCG, the cheekiness of what they're trying to pull off right now, and Prototype is back up. They need to use that against them. Can they come back into this game?
That's going to be the question, because it feels like TCG are just on janitorial duty right now. They are mopping up kills left, right, and center. The Prototype going to go down once again. The Necro's just really not having a good time of it. El Presidente as well in all sorts of trouble. He drops down. The Bunker Mesmer just not going to be tanky enough right now. He's bleeding out. No teammates are going to be near enough to save him right now. And Lord Azura, the lowest member on the side of TCG, he's still on half HP and he's going to be able to heal himself back up.
Yeah, they've got contention across the map, but look how fast they got the lead. This is almost the complete opposite of the first 2 series of the day. We've seen TCG just absolutely wipe the floor with Chaotic Contingency at the moment, and at the moment you don't really feel as if the Chaotic Contingency are going to be able to come back into this game, but they are not giving up, and that is part of who they are as people as well as their team, you know, the way they're thinking. And most people have it's felt like that today as well. They're trying to learn as much as they possibly can, get that synergy that they need in the next series that they play in this Pro League in the future, because at the moment it doesn't feel like they're going to be able to come back into this game, but maybe they can use it in a very important learning experience as well.
Well, we'll have to see. Fingers crossed Chaotic Contingency are going to have a contingency plan for this map, because El Presidente's down, Karam's down, Le Prototype isn't locked for this world either. The reses are coming out though, so maybe they can stick on this.
Oh, they're actually
still going down, and actually they managed to take down Draze. You see Freylina as well down on the ground. They might just be able to do something here, but we already see the 1 cap coming through for TCG.
Yeah, indeed. And we are going to go... Let's have a look at Helsef's just over at mid. They've got their 2 caps still in their favour as well. Karsa's just making sure they're not going to push over towards that temple node, but trying to potentially take out Alisei here. The thing with Chaotic Contingency sometimes feels like they're very disjointed, and they're not really sure about where they're going to go.
Blue team takes a
I definitely agree with that one. And as well, it just seems like in the majority of these scenarios, they're just being sort of mechanically outplayed here by TCG. TCG always seem to be winning these fights.
They're pushing them in places where they want them to be. This is the tactitional play. Tactitional, wow.
If it's not a word already, then it is now.
It definitely should be. But they're very, very good at analysis. The way they're playing the map at the moment, they're very analytical, is what I like to think about these players as well, especially Helsef, you know, and Frey as well. But the way they play in the map at the moment, they're from the word go, TCG just put them in their place, and actually, you know, they won the fights as well. So, and that early push towards their spawn must have been so demoralizing. Like, hey guys, we're kind of whooping you at the moment, unfortunately, for the team of Chaotic Contingency, and they're able to sustain the map at the moment. I feel like,
I've got to be honest, it feels like right now TCG have got more points from kills than they have from caps.
yeah,
They are, it feels like they're just playing team deathmatch, to be quite honest, because they are just doing ridiculous amounts of damage. Helseth could maybe be in trouble though right now. The Condis have stacked up. He is going to be going down, and in fact there's no one really too nearby to be able to pick him back up. Angie looking to try and find that execute onto him. She might just be able to do so, although Helseth has got... Oh no, the execute does come down. I thought the res was going to come out. They finally get a man advantage.
Yeah, and they need to use that down bot, I think, over on the Tranquility buff. If they can +1 this fight quickly, they could get the free cap and the stillness, and they could steamroll the map into their favor if they can hold the map in their favor for a considerable time. They're going to try. This is the last-ditch effort. This is the last chance they have to come back into this game and for this series to possibly go to a third game. There's no other way they can win this at the moment. And actually, LSA goes down in the end because TCG bring another member down themselves. We got this 2v2 situation. Kaz is close to going down, but he's not going to go. That's not going to be the case. LSA going into full dead state there as well. Karam very low. We're going to see Prototype drop. The Tranquility buff's going to be taken. Stillness possibly as well in the near future. But again, actually, we might see Mesmer drop down to help out. No, he's just hovering around this stillness buff.
Yeah,
it feels like it's over at the moment. That our last chance is probably it.
400 points now for TCG to the 70 of Chaotic Contingency. Pralina is on a rampage, and it is going to be the triple cap coming out for TCG. They're looking for stillness as well. They're looking to get the 6 cap on the go. I don't think they're going to be able to get that one. El Presidente should be able to continuously just interrupt the cap here for Helseth. But
that's the statement right there.
I mean, they've managed to decap the altar, but they've got 7 minutes to somehow pull themselves back into this game, and honestly,
no. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. Wow, that is 2 very dominant games from TCG right there. There was absolutely... there was potential for... They did get the notes contested, but I feel like that contestation was almost just, you know, TCG's overconfidence of how well they were doing around the map, and they were just focusing on trying to get kills elsewhere so they could re-dominate the game. But Chaotic Contingency, they're not having the best of Pro Leagues at the moment. No. And things need to change in the future for them to try and pick up a series.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, congratulations to TCG.
As well, yeah. I mean, it's... Obviously, congratulations.
Yeah,
that was very dominant, especially after last week. Like, having that loss against rank 55 Dragons, you know, that could have put their morale down. But they came back and they changed Frey into a Revenant, and they played a little bit differently out there. Their confidence did not reflect the. Basically what happened last week, you know, that loss. You wouldn't have thought they would have lost a game, a series last week, which was so important in the Pro League, and then come back the way they played today. You wouldn't have thought that would have been the case.
No, they did absolutely ridiculous things today. And I mean, it's exactly as you say. Last week, they weren't even able to... They didn't win their series. They managed to take a game, but they couldn't win out. And this week, they pretty much manhandled their opponents. I would argue they were the uncivilized gentlemen in that specific matchup. But, I mean, congratulations to them, no less. They have taken the 2-0 victory. Let's take a look at our standings as we round out this week of the Pro League. We've had 3 2-0 victories here. Rank 55 Dragons, Vermilion, and TCG all taking their wins 2-0. And then over in our third match, we had More Guns Than Roses taking a bit of a surprise victory up against Orange Logo.
Yeah, that was a very, very surprising series indeed. I mean, obviously, you know, based on the facts, you know, Tage obviously not being able to play, some changes in the team comp. It feels like Orange Logo is starting to get their groove back a little bit. But You know, is it too late potentially? Because now they've dropped 2 series in 2 weeks in a row. They're actually lower down in the standings now than before. So, you know, that's an issue. They have to climb back up to get to second. And that's a real struggle because now TCG have won another series. So we see the top teams, Vermilion, TCG and Rank 55 Dragons, all above them currently.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. That's going to be very difficult to take. And, you know, the other teams now, if they're able to pull a cheeky defeat in our future weeks ahead, of course, in this season, maybe we could see some more upsets in the future, because I think we've got more upsets definitely in the bag somewhere.
Yeah, we certainly do. With games that like what we've had today, specifically the Guns versus Orange Logo matchup was certainly the highlight for me today. I mean, that series was just absolutely ridiculous, and not even just ridiculous in the final result. People, I think, generally were expecting Orange Logo to win, but also ridiculous in the specific games. It was just absolutely crazy. But before we go anywhere, make sure you check us out on social media. If you've missed any of the games today, specifically that third match as well, if you've missed that, make sure you find us on YouTube. I believe it'll be on the ArenaNet official YouTube. Follow us on Twitter as well and on Facebook, and we'll keep you updated on all of the good stuff that is Guild Wars.
I think it will be on youtube.com/Guild Wars 2, actually. I think the VODs are being put on there, so just to make sure that's exactly what's coming through. But yeah, they're currently going up, and they most likely will be up there this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have Helseth available now. We're going to have a chat with him and see how he's feeling off the back of this victory. I mean, a very convincing victory. Let's bring him up on your screen. Helseth, how are you feeling off the back of that dominant performance?
So I'm live right now, right?
You are live. You're very live.
All right, sup, plebs. See, this was a pretty hard win for us, legitimately, because like TCG is considered the greatest team, right? Like by all. And the reason we are is because we put on performances every time, right? Like we really put on an amazing performance and like make great matches. There's a reason our team was highlighted the entire time. That's why this game was really hard for us. I mean, all games are hard for us for the similar reason, but basically, how do we make a game competitive when they're facing TCG? We always find new tactics, right? Like Drasa is playing with his hands tied, I'm AFKing mid-game, I'm letting my hamster play. There's many ways we try to do this. And this time, no matter what we did, we couldn't really get the games to be competitive enough. And I apologize from TCG, from everyone, that we couldn't make the games quite close enough. Like it worked out when we faced 55, tried playing without PCs, and it made some close games. I mean, we also created a hype story when we inevitably go flawless win all the way across the rest of the league, right? So we created some hype, but this time we couldn't quite deliver. Because of that, as the captain of TCG, I apologize. Anyway, what's up?
Do you mind me asking you a question? So in terms of your dominance in your future predictions and your performance in the Pro League already, do you mind me asking what happened last week?
I just told you, didn't you? I mean, I realize you're
just going into detail, maybe.
Yeah, it's fine. So, I mean, we faced rank 55, right? We won game 1 quite dominantly. And we realized that this is not what we want Guild Wars as. You know, we don't want the viewers to see us 500 to 100.
Yeah.
So how do we do this? We give them the win. We give them the win, right? Like we have to give them the win. And so it's now 1-1, which is more tied and hype. And as we start playing the legacy game, right, we're winning, we dominate, and then the wipe happens, as we all know. And we realized that we actually were playing that legacy game to lose, and we realized, guys, we're still winning. We're still winning. So let's try to wipe. They managed to somehow wipe us, and we created more hype for the league, which you're welcome for. And
thanks, mate.
And no problem. So I mean, obviously we would have won if we wanted to.
Okay. It was a pretty hype series. You're right about that.
You're welcome. It was really hard to deliver. Hands tied.
Oh, thank you so much.
We appreciate it. We are bowing in the studio right now, production crew and all. It's good to see you guys taking but very dominant today. But you changed Frey, and we were talking about you mentioned it to me in Skype as well. You know, changing Frey over from Necro to Revenant. How important is that for your team composition?
I mean, like the problem is, Necromancer has its positive qualities, especially, you know, when a Revenant has resistance, you have Kraboon, and the Revenant can just instantly die. And that's what makes the Necromancer interesting, regardless of the comp, because he has that chance of always winning, right? The problem when we had Freya Necromancer was simply that the key for resing broke on my keyboard. I pressed it too often.
Okay.
Frey kept going down, and eventually the key just broke, and we can't have it anymore. Like he doesn't die quite as much on Revenant, so that works out in our favor. But like maybe when I get a new bind for my res, we can try Necromancer again. But we'll see.
There's a lot more keys on the keyboard, obviously, but
There are.
maybe someone out there can help you with that if you go and check out his stream, of course. Good stuff. Congratulations, dude. Good job today.
Yeah, can I shout out myself? I'm gonna do that, right? So obviously, victory stream, Twitch TV, the Lord Helsef, have fun. If I wasn't allowed to do that, I already did it. So
you're fine.
No problem. All right. Well, thank you very much for the interview, Helsef. Obviously, very happy with his win, and
he would never not be happy with his win, Joe. You will learn the ways of Lord Helsef, and yeah, truly.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting interview.
He clearly very, very happy with himself and his team, and rightly so as well.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was a very
definitely.
dominant victory. But unfortunately, that was our fourth and final series. So from me and from Jebro and from the rest of the production crew, it is going to be good night. But make sure that later on tonight, you tune in to the American broadcasters. They've got their third week of the Pro League as well going on. I believe that's 6 p.m. PST, I think.
5 p.m.
Time zones are
yes.
hard.
Well, it would have been PST. I think it's Pacific time now. I'm not sure
is
if it's PST. But so technically you're right.
So I am, yeah. Go me.
But
All
yeah,
right.
so you definitely go check that out because there's some interesting things happening over there as well. Possible, most potential upset from last week. But I think, you know, the NA scene is increasing. You know, teams are coming closer together in terms of, you know, trying to catch up with the Abjured. And I think that's happening. Hopefully we'll see that maybe tonight as well. But yeah, that's it. We're done.
That is it from us, so make sure you tune in next week, and we'll see you in a week's time for more Guild Wars 2 Pro League action.